"Hey old man, go do the rounds of greetings at our clients for me." The commanding tone of Jackson as he orders me around. Maybe it's about time to reveal the truth. "Yes, understood." I nodded with a smile. Jackson seemed to lose interest in me quickly, but those around us watched me warily. Even to them, I directed a smile, causing them to flinch. Such rude people. Well then, I'll be off. With that thought, I headed to the client's place, still smiling. "Oh, isn't this Thomas? We were informed that someone from the headquarters would come to greet us, but I never expected it to be you. When did you return?" I apologize for the delayed greetings. It's been a while. Upon my arrival, the client seemed quite surprised but welcomed me with a smile. "It's a pleasure to work with you again." Such kind words. I'm flattered that you would say that even to someone as inexperienced as myself. Don't be modest. Your company has grown to this extent thanks to you, Thomas. At the client's words, I smiled. I am Thomas, an old man working in the countryside with my beloved wife. I was born into a so-called Pula family. Our family had been running a factory for generations and earned a decent living, but that only lasted until my grandfather's time. During my father's time, we were hit by a recession and ended up going bankrupt. I'm sorry, Thomas. It's not your fault, Dad. I'll work hard too. At that time, I was a high school student. From then on, I juggled school and part-time jobs, actively doing chores at home. Honestly, I had no time to play, couldn't make friends, and even faced bullying at school. Thomas, take this if you like. I made too much. All these sweets. Thank you always, Liz. Liz, who would later become my wife, always looked out for me. She would bring me homemade sweets when I was working for hunger, and defended me when I was falsely accused during a theft incident in the class. I've cherished the kind and strong Liz since then. Being with someone like me will only cause you trouble, Liz. What's that matter? As long as we stay together, we can overcome any hardship. It seemed she felt the same. Though I tried to leave Liz for her, she followed me. Thomas, I love how you always try to move forward, no matter the situation. Thank you, Liz. Will you be with me? Yes, of course. With Liz by my side, I was able to overcome any difficulty. Apart from her, I had another close friend. Thomas, please help me out. Sure, use me as much as you need. Counting on you. We don't have time to stand still. Whenever I felt down, my friend Alex was always there to pull me up. He was born into a wealthy family, the complete opposite of me. We met in middle school. Hey, do you want to hang out together? Really, can I? Of course. Becoming friends with him, who seemed out of place in the classroom, started with me reaching out. He defended me in high school and often encouraged me with "it's going to be okay," making him a friend I'm proud of. By the way, I never hung out with Alex just because he was wealthy. I always wanted to have an equal relationship as friends. That's probably why we're still able to maintain our friendship. And now, I'm working at the company he started. However, due to various circumstances, I'm not at the headquarters but at a branch in the countryside. What a lovely day, Liz. Would you like to go for a walk? Oh, that sounds nice. How about we make a picnic and eat outside? I'm looking forward to it. Even so, I live peacefully amidst clean air. I was perfectly happy with my life as it was. Thomas, it's been a while. Long time. What's happened? One day, I got a message from Alex. He wanted me to come back to the headquarters soon. Could you give me a little time to think? I want to discuss it with Liz. All right, let me know once you've made up your mind. I couldn't accept it right away. The reason was simple. Both Liz and I liked our countryside life. We couldn't easily let go of this life. However, if Alex is specifically asking, there might be some issue at the headquarters. But if Alex is asking for your help, there must be something, right? I was thinking that too, but I'll be fine. Maybe it's worth going back to the headquarters for a while. After a thorough discussion with Liz, we decided to respond to Alex's call. And so, we returned to the city for the first time in 20 years. We rented an apartment for the time being and planned to sell our current house. As we packed, various memories flashed through my mind. Walking with Liz, playing with the neighborhood kids, and energizing the local festivals. It's hard to leave, isn't it? Thomas, are you done over there? Yeah, all done. Shall we go? Leaving was hard, but Liz's call prompted me to leave the house. The city, crowded with people, was honestly exhausting after a long absence. However, the variety of things in stores, different from the countryside, was refreshing and fun. I'm kind of tired. Yet, you seem to be smiling. Oh, really? Liz also seemed to be enjoying herself, which reassured me. And a few days later, I finally stepped into the headquarters. Long time no see, Thomas. Michael, it's been a while. In the lobby, I was greeted by Alex's younger brother, Michael. It turns out my new department is where he works. He was waiting here to guide me. I see, thanks, I'm counting on you. Yes, looking forward to working with you. I thanked him and entered the floor together while making small talk. Running late today, Michael. Then, a man approached Michael. He looked familiar, but I just couldn't place him. Yeah, I was guiding Thomas, who will be working in our department from today. A newbie, looks like an old man. Hey, that's rude. The man snorted dismissively and returned to his desk. Instead, Michael apologized to me. I'm sorry, Thomas. No worries. Who was he? After asking Michael, I finally learned his name. He is Jackson, a young department head and Michael's colleague. I don't mean to be rude, but is he okay? He's not a bad person. I couldn't help but sense trouble with Michael's wry smile. For the rest of the day, I greeted people here and there, checked on my future work, and went home early as it was my first day. Welcome back. How was the company? I met Michael. Michael, that's Alex's brother, right? Liz seemed nostalgic at my words. She also knows Michael. Maybe we should arrange a dinner once we settle down. Hey, Thomas, there's something I'd like to ask. What's up? I want to go to work part-time. According to Liz, she finished the housework early and got bored staying home all day. Back in the countryside, she used to take care of the kids after school. She probably dislikes having nothing to do during that time. Of course, that's fine, but promise me you won't overdo it. Yes, I promise. Liz happily started looking for part-time job listings at my words. Seeing her like this, I decided not to bring up Jackson. I can handle the company issues on my own. Good morning, Thomas. Good morning. Oh, where's the manager? The next day, when I arrived at work, the manager was nowhere to be seen. At my question, Michael awkwardly looked away. When I talked to some familiar colleagues, I learned that Jackson being late is quite common. And sometimes, he even leaves work to go somewhere. Why doesn't anyone say anything? And how can someone like that hold a managerial position? Well, he's the son of the executive vice president. Hearing this, I understood the sense of déjà vu from yesterday. I'm well aware of the EVP, and I had seen Jackson before I moved to the branch. The EVP is known to be strict with both outsiders and his own family. It's hard to imagine he would tolerate such behavior from his son. And technically, wouldn't you have a higher position? There are some complex circumstances involved. I'll explain more about it another time. Also, I haven't told anyone about my brother. Michael, being the president's brother, would likely have a higher status than Jackson, the EVP's son. However, Michael prefers to compete on his own merits and keeps his background hidden. Leave him to me. After all, we started here at the same time, Michael said confidently. This gave me a hint as to why Alex called me back to headquarters. Michael has a bit of a stubborn streak and seems to harbor a sort of rivalry towards his brother, Alex. He probably doesn't want to rely on Alex. Knowing this, Alex might have placed me in this department to help out, considering my long-standing rapport with Michael. Since I've known Michael for a long time and he's fond of me, I don't mind assisting him. We started working together, discussing various matters as we went along. Chatting while working, you seem quite at ease. About an hour after work started, Jackson finally showed up. It's not like that. How about you catch up on the work you missed? You should be teaching the old man properly. I don't want any dead weight around. Despite Jackson's immediate provocation, I just smiled wryly and kept on with my tasks. After finishing my own work, I helped Michael with his. Thanks to you, I didn't have to do overtime today. Listening to Michael laugh, I learned that he's been taking on Jackson's workload. That's why he has to do overtime recently. It's one thing for Jackson to shirk his duties, but for Michael to accept this situation is another matter entirely. Seeing Michael's weary smile, I found myself deep in thought about what could be done. It's been about a month since I returned to headquarters, and time has passed so quickly. By then I had enough emotional leeway to look around the company. Ah, that woman. I noticed a middle-aged woman standing in front of the company, glaring towards it. She was glaring towards the company. Ah, that must be the one. I murmured to myself while observing her. After speaking only to the security, she left. The woman seems to be involved in Jackson's situation, a topic Michael had briefed me on. This matter was becoming a concern that I knew needed to be addressed. Ah, welcome back, Thomas. You look tired. Are you okay? I'm fine, just a bit worn out from adjusting to the city work again. I wanted to talk to Liz about Jackson's situation, but she might be tired from her new part-time job. Bringing it up made me hesitate. How's everything going for you, Liz? It's going smoothly. My colleagues at the part-time job have been really kind. I listened to Liz without talking about myself. She's intuitive, so she might have sensed something was up. Yet, she engaged in the conversation with me. I silently appreciated her for that, nodding along to her stories. One day, I was called into the president's office and had a long talk with Alex. Sorry for the sudden call. No worries. What's going on? Well, I'm thinking it's about time to take action. When I returned to the department, Michael was nowhere to be seen. It seems he was out on field visits. Ah, damn. What a hassle. Meanwhile, Jackson was irritably fiddling with his phone. Suddenly, our eyes met as he looked up. And then, Jackson smirked. Thomas, come here. Yes. He knew my name. With that thought, I obediently walked towards Jackson. I was supposed to greet our clients, but something urgent came up, so you'll have to go. Me. Yes. Jackson told me with a laugh. Old man, go do the client greetings for me. Jackson commanded arrogantly. It might be time to reveal the truth. Yes, understood. I nodded with a smile. Jackson seemed to lose interest quickly, but others around us watched me warily. Smiling back at them, they flinched in surprise. How rude. Well then, I'll be off. Thinking this, I headed to the clients with a smile. Following my declaration, I went on a round of greetings. Is that you, Thomas? We heard someone from your company would come to greet us, but I never expected it to be you. When did you return? Sorry for the delayed greetings. It's been a while. When I visited the client, they were quite surprised but welcomed me with a smile. By coincidence, the client was someone I had worked with several times before moving to the branch, and it was nostalgic to see they hadn't changed much. You've really mellowed out, Thomas. Well, I'm getting on in years. We chatted for a while and also discussed work. Eventually, we agreed on a new contract. My visit might have been the right decision. I'm glad to be working with you again. You flatter me. I'm honored to receive such praise, especially considering my inexperience. Don't be modest. Your presence has significantly contributed to our growth. I smiled at the client's words. Please, let's keep in touch, Vice President. Indeed, I hold the position of Vice President. I haven't openly revealed my identity, but long-standing employees and associates know me. I think I have more authority than the Executive Vice President. After that, I returned straight to the company. Thomas. Jess, I've just returned. Upon entering the floor, Jackson approached me in a fluster. It seems that after I left there, the client called, intending to speak with Jackson. He was then told, "We didn't expect the Vice President to come. We wish you had informed us beforehand." When Jackson asked what that was about, he was met with a "you don't know," and ended up feeling embarrassed. Wait, you're really the VP? Despite this, it seems Jackson still can't believe it. Well, it's true that I haven't shown my face at the branch office since I started working there, and only my name is listed on the website. That's the truth. After all, Thomas is a friend of my brother. At that moment, Michael came and answered on my behalf. Then Jackson tilts his head in confusion. Brother. The president, Alex, is my real brother. Jackson's eyes widen in surprise at those words, and he freezes. I then shared my own story with him. I've found you, Thomas. Alex. Initially, I was hired at a restaurant after high school. Alex, who was planning to start his own business after graduating from college, came to that restaurant. Thomas, please help me out. Sure, with anything. I'm counting on you. We don't have time to stand still. Then, he recruited me to start the business together. I became a founding member and was given the position of VP. The company, which was small at first, grew gradually, and by the time executives like Michael and the EVP joined, it had grown large enough to have several branches. By then, I had also married Liz, and I was enjoying a successful life both personally and professionally. However, trouble arose. Alex, I'm sorry, but I have to move to the branch office with Liz. I'll miss you, but it can't be helped. I'll leave the branch office in your hands. Sure, I've got it. So I chose to go to the rural branch office with Liz. Since then, I've been moving between branch offices from time to time, continuing my work. The VP, wasn't there a rumor about him when we joined a company? Yeah, that's the rumored VP, and he's the mastermind behind our flagship product. Actually, our flagship product was my creation. Before my family's factory went under, I helped with the factory work while coming up with new product ideas. But before I could produce the new product myself, the factory went bankrupt. I never thought it would see the light of day. Let's bring that idea to fruition. Alex, who knew about the idea, made it a reality. Now, it has become our flagship product, which I have been directly supervising and improving at the branch office. I'm truly sorry. After hearing our story, Jackson deeply apologized to me. Seeing his demeanor, I thought to myself that he really wasn't a bad person. Now, would you both come with me for a moment? Michael suggested this, so we stopped the apologies for now and followed him. And he led us to the president's office. I've brought them both. Oh, thank you. There were Alex and the EVP. The EVP seemed to be in deep thought, but when he noticed me, he came over to apologize. I'm sorry for the trouble my son has caused. No, there's no need for you to apologize. Hearing my words, he looked towards his son, Jackson. You understand what you've done, right? Yes, I mean, I'm prepared to face any consequences. Jackson, looking remorseful, quietly awaited his punishment. Seeing him like this, Alex smiled. You'll be on probation for a while. Yes, and is there anything else? For now, that's it. Jackson was taken aback by Alex's words. Demotion, transfer, he asked, and was even more surprised when Alex shook his head. Everyone here knows the situation. The EVP has an ex-wife named Jessica. The cause of their divorce was Jessica's infidelity and mishandling of money. Moreover, she left with her lover, leaving young Jackson behind, so he was raised by his grandparents under the EVP's care. Jackson joined a company on the EVP's recommendation and quickly rose to a managerial position due to his excellent performance and Michael's endorsement. His promotion was based on merit, not simply because he was the EVP's son. My mother reached out around that time. Knowing the situation, Jackson shared his story while looking down. Jessica had been approaching Jackson for money, calling him her proud son. Lately, she had even been lying in wait in front of the company or his home. The woman I saw in front of the company the other day was Jessica. Initially, Jackson ignored her. However, she approached Jackson's pregnant wife, almost causing harm. I rushed over and managed to drive her away, so we avoided trouble. Then, to keep my unborn child safe, we decided to send my wife back to her parents' house early to avoid any further issues with my mother. Despite this, he maintained a firm stance and rejected her advances. The EVP was unaware of this until recently. When I decided to get married, my father told me, "You're a husband now. Protect your family with your own hands," so I didn't ask for help easily. I remember, I'm sorry, I should have told you to rely on me anytime. The EVP seemed to regret not offering more support. Jackson's lateness was due to Jessica accosting him during his commute. His absences from his desk or because he was driving her away, who had come to the company. On top of that, my mother would contact me numerous times during the day. I was afraid to block her, worrying she might do something to my wife. That's why I started taking over some of his tasks, because it was beginning to affect his work. The reason the colleagues in the same department didn't say anything was because Michael had explained the situation to them. So, it wasn't that Jackson was overlooked just because he was the EVP's son, but rather, everyone sympathized with him and chose to overlook it. Jackson had a complicated expression upon realizing that everyone knew about his situation. Take some time off and go be with your wife, and protect her. That woman won't come near again on my watch. Thank you, so much, Jackson said with tears in his eyes. Then, as if a weight had been lifted off his shoulders, he slumped down right there. Michael chuckled and helped him up. Excuse me. Liz? Liz, who was supposed to be at her part-time job, walked in. This time, I was the one surprised. Sorry, Thomas, I called her here. I wanted to enlist her help. given her background as a counselor. At that, Liz nodded firmly. In fact, Liz had a counseling qualification and was one of the founding members. Her role was that of a corporate counselor. She was popular for her compassionate listening, and many employees were grateful to her, but this led to her getting entangled in interpersonal issues. Stay away from Liz. Thomas. An incident occurred where an employee, who had unilaterally developed feelings for her while consulting with her, tried to make a move. That employee was, of course, fired, but the traumatic experience led Liz to resign as well. Then, I requested a transfer and we moved to the countryside together. The rural atmosphere suited her, and being amidst nature helped her recover, but she couldn't return to her counseling work. So now, she was working a completely unrelated part-time job. Before you go, would you like to talk with me? At Liz's offer, Jackson nodded. Liz, are you sure? Yes, will you stay with me? She said with a smile, and of course, I nodded. Afterward, by the time Jackson was leaving, he looked much relieved and repeatedly expressed his gratitude to us. You all must be tired too. Go home and rest. So, we all decided to head home together. It had been a while since we walked together like this. Hey, how about we take a detour? Let's do that. We decided to go on a date and enjoyed the bustling city streets. The next day, I went to work as usual. Upon arrival, I noticed a commotion in front of the company. Is that the EVP and Jessica? It seemed like they were having an argument. However, as I listened while the EVP calmly rejected her, she was aggressively demanding, I gave birth to him, so you owe me, he's mine. If you want to cut ties, then pay me, and raising her voice. Seeing her raise her bag to swing it at the EVP, I couldn't hold back and shouted. Enough, you have no right to call yourself a mother. Don't involve yourself with his family or this company anymore. My sternness made her flinch with a gasp. When she lost her momentum, the bag didn't hit him but knocked over a potted plant instead. Then, the police arrived, restrained her, and took her away. The demon has returned. The demon VP is still in power, huh? I heard such comments and couldn't help but give a wry smile. In the early days of the company, being young, I was strict in guiding those around me. However, I never resorted to physical violence or personal attacks. Such strictness earned me the nickname of Demon among my colleagues. From my current perspective, the nickname feels quite undesired. Thank you for your help, and sorry for the inconvenience. Not at all, the struggle with her isn't over yet. Please stay strong. Yes, thank you very much. Afterward, I entered my new workspace, the Vice President's office. The resolution of the issues in that department resulted in me receiving a private office. With Jackson and me gone, Michael took the lead, with the entire department collaborating to fill the gap. Thomas, I've come up with a new project idea. I want to hear your thoughts. That sounds good, but do you really need to come here yourself? I gave Alex a wry smile as he entered without knocking. From that point on, I dedicated myself to the new project he brought in. After some time, the project was successfully completed. Our company experienced significant growth once again. Long time no see, Thomas. Ah, Jackson, you're back today, right? Yes. By that time, Jackson had been reinstated at work after his suspension. His child was also safely born. As for Jessica, she was arrested for property damage after knocking over a potted plant and for resisting arrest when she made a scene with the police. My father arranged for a lawyer to get a restraining order against her and to sue for damages for everything she's done to me. This way, she won't be able to show her face to us ever again. Jackson mentioned that this incident led to a thorough discussion with his father. They promise to communicate and support each other more as father and son. My father is completely smitten with his first grandchild. He never shows that stern face in front of the kid. Seeing Jackson laugh so freely, I felt relieved too. Alex and Michael's relationship also changed. Michael was being stubborn because I was treating him like a child. Alex reflected and changed the way he treats him. By supporting Michael, I believe I helped improve their relationship. However, it seems they are not exactly like close brothers, but rather like good rivals at work. Someday, I'll start my own thing and headhunt Thomas. That's not happening. Thomas is mine. They were bantering like this recently. Well, since both were lively and engaged, I thought it was all good. The other day, I was thanked by a senior coworker. That's great. Liz and I continue to do well. Recently, Liz was offered a full-time position from her part-time job. She was happy to be relied upon as an individual, not just as a counselor. I vowed to support her fully, both emotionally and physically. Thomas, shall we go for a walk soon? Yes, I'm coming. Life has been going smoothly both personally and professionally. We recently bought a house and got a dog to help with the lack of exercise, enjoying our walks together. Of course, we deeply love our dog as a member of our family. Jackson wants to bring his kid over to our place. Oh, according to Alex, Michael also mentioned he'd like to come. Maybe we should have a home party sometime. With my beloved wife Liz and our cherished dog, I look forward to maintaining a peaceful and happy life. I headed towards my beloved family with a smile.